today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the NECA Toys Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the T-800 Final Battle. Yes, I know, an older figure. Spot, for some reason, had this in his collection. I just never got around to reviewing this line. Not sure really why, but we're going to be having a look at them now. Arnold does come with an alternate head. It also comes with his rocket launcher, his little portable rocket launcher gun. Spin around the back of the package. Other figures available, there's the Man or Machine, there's the Pascadero Escape, there's the Cyberdyne Showdown, and the Endoskeleton. A brief read-up says, Specs Model T-800 Final Battle. After escaping Cyberdyne, the T-800, Sarah, and John Connor are pursued by the T-1000 into a steel mill. The Terminators engage in violent hand-to-hand combat, causing the T-800 to sustain critical damage. Now missing his left arm and operating on limited power and capacity, the T-800 staggers to Sarah and John's rescue and fires his last grenade into the T-1000, causing it to explode and fall into a vat of molten steel. To check out more from the folks over at NECA, you can go to www.necaonline.com. And that being said, years in the making, not perhaps, but Spot's going to finally have a look at the T-800 Final Battle. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. When it comes to the Terminator's accessories, he does come with two. I say rocket launcher. It's like a little bolo grenade launcher. It doesn't actually open. It's just a solid rubbery plastic, but it does have a strap that you could wrap around the T-800's shoulder. Paint's quite nice. I like how it has an aged look to the end of the handle. And the barrel itself has that aged metal look to it as well. The other accessory, of course, that comes with the T-800 is the alternate face. Depending on your preference, how you want to display the T-800. You can display more from the beginning of the steel mill to what essentially would be like near the end or the end of the movie when the T-1000 is defeated. Nice paint, though, on the piece. That silver color stands out quite nice. Even like the little eye there is nicely painted in bright red. And the coloring of the blood, or in this case the endoskeleton's blood, is quite nice as well. So you have that. Probably going to switch these out anyways. We'll just put that to the side for now. And let's have a look at the T-800. Nice piece. Again, this is an older piece. Spot's not going to try to tell you guys otherwise. This is a bit of an older piece, and it's a shame that I waited as long to review him, but at the end of the day, it still works out good that I can touch base on him now. He's got his strap, which for all intents and purposes, you could really remove. You could take this right off. What would have been housing all the grenades, as you can see, is empty, as he does have the final grenade theoretically in his grenade gun here. Of course, he's also missing his arm. One of the casualties, sadly, during his battle with the T-1000 is that he gets his arm crushed. He has to break it off and pursue the T-1000 one arm less. Face, really for the face, and the fact that this figure is a little bit older, NECA delivers a fantastic sculpt on T-800's Arnold. Like, that looks like Arnie. Without any doubt, I gotta say, that looks like Arnie. You know, some of the older NECA figures, at least Terminator-wise, didn't quite look like Arnie. Like, some of the ones were a little rougher than others, but this one I think is really when they started to get their groove. Not when Stella got their groove back, but when Arnie got his groove back, I think is when you start seeing fantastic figures like this. The only downside, the only trade-off, though, is as good as this figure might be, the articulation's quite nice. Unfortunately, because he is the older figure, he has the very limited articulation from the waist down. That's the only downside. He does have, like, leg articulation in the feet. He does have a leg-thigh articulation where you can bend at the knee, and he finally has a rotation in the foot. But this figure really could use some additional articulation. Now, NECA, all as they are releasing more and more Ultimate figures. We've seen Ultimate Freddy. We're going to now get an Ultimate Jason. We're also getting Sarah Connor. And I think we're also going to be going back and looking at some of the Terminators. So it's kind of fitting that Spot's looking at some of the well, near the end of the run of the Terminator figures before now we're getting the new stuff, and really excited about picking up the Sarah Connor. So while this may be a staple for figures back then, maybe we will see this kind of figure come back in some resurgence with the additional leg articulation. Then I would really love to pick that figure up. That's the only thing that kind of we are spoiled by like the new figures, that we kind of go back and look at the older stuff and say, I love this figure, I just wish it had the additional leg articulation. Let's go ahead while we're at it and pop the head off. The head just pops out of the ball socket. A nice black solid plastic, no clear plastic for this guy. I'm gonna pop and put in the new head here. There we go. Nope. A little stiff. There we go, there we go. And that pops into place. The other thing I wanted to point out too is the back of the head, as you can probably see, he does have the exposed endoskeleton skull. Also a really nice touch. Little bullet holes riddle the back, this rubbery plastic backing for his jacket. The jacket, yeah, you could remove it, but as I always say, you remove the jacket, the arms are still going to unfortunately be jackets, so there's no real sense in trying to take this off. But you could see it was really a retooled of the Man and Machine T-800 as well. In the way of his articulation, like again, Arnie's head is on a ball joint, but it's on a ball joint at the base of the neck rather than at the top of the head. Kind of wish that the ball joint, you could still do theoretically all the same movement, but I'm always more a fan of the articulation in the head rather than the base of the neck. That's just me. While one shoulder does have the ball joint, the ball hinge joint, and has just a somewhat swivel, there you go, in the arm remnants. The other arm at least has the hinge in the elbow, which also rotates the forearm, and he does also have a ball joint in the hand. The hand seems slightly pre-posed, the way that it's positioned, and again, mainly due to the fact that you can take the grenade gun. At least his hands are rubbery, his fingers are rubbery, at least, that getting the gun in there is not overly difficult. There's nothing more problematic, at least for me, when you have a figure that has really solid, hard plastic hands, and trying to fight to get that weapon into his hand is sometimes next to impossible. The waist also has just a straight swivel, and we've kind of already touched base on the legs. These figures aren't relatively expensive, so I mean, if you still are interested in picking these up, you could find them in the aftermarket like eBay and stuff like that, and you could probably get them for a pretty good price. They're not, like I said, they're not super expensive, but I would say if NECA never ever releases more of these, I think this figure still stands up to this day. I just kind of wish he had more articulation in the legs, but at the end of the day, I'm still very happy to have this guy in my collection. Again, small apologies. Sorry that it took me so long to review this guy, but at any rate, today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the NECA Toys Terminator 2. We're having a look at Final Battle Terminator, or T-800. Thanks for watching as you always do, guys, and certainly stay tuned. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. See you next time.